I'm in my craft room again today, and I'm working on my latest project for Halloween. My snake head is still drying, and so I can't put another coat on it yet, so it was time for me to start something new. Here's what I came up with. A lot of you know that I do a carnival in the backyard for everybody to do while they're waiting to go into the haunt. And I was at a yard sale a couple weeks ago, and I came across this rocking horse. It was, supposed to be one of those that bounces, but it was broken, and they just had the horse, so I got it for $1. And I really have been wanting to do for a while a big carousel, but these horses are hard to find, and when you can find them, they're not always very cheap. So I've got the idea now that I'm going to try paper macheing this guy over and over again to come up with a whole herd of horses. And I know some things I've paper macheed over and it's stuck, and some things it hasn't. So I've learned the hard way that it's best to cover your props first, just to be sure, so you can easily cut the paper mache off and put it back together. And I wanted to be sure that I got clean lines on this guy, so what I've been doing is wrapping him with packing tape. You might have seen people do this to make the packing tape ghosts, like, I don't know if you can see that girl up there. It's basically the same idea. I'm doing it sticky side out, and the good thing about the packing tape over doing the tin foil is once you get a good layer on here, you can just cut and stick, and it'll stick right to itself and really get all of those edges. Whoop, stay up, horsey. It really gets in all those edges and really, contours really well. Now, of course, I'm going to lose, some of these more fine details, like the eye and right here, but it's going to be dark and people aren't going to have that close of a look of it anyway. I decided to just paper mache around these sticks. That'll make nice holes. They're already lined up when I go to cut this thing off. So if I do decide later, I can stick some dowels or some, whatever in there to make it look like this. Or if I decide later I don't want to, I can just paper mache over those holes. But I'm leaving them. But really the hardest part for me so far, I'm not done. I ran out of tape. I've got to open a new one. So far I only have one roll of tape on here. And this is Dollar Tree packing tape. So I have $1 in the tape, I have $1 in the horse, and newspaper is practically free. So this project, when it's all said and done, not counting the glue and the paint, will be $2. But one of the things I have discovered is wrapping around this part here is really, really hard. So if anybody wants to try to do this yourselves, a tip is I started at the head and worked my way around till I got down here, and then I worked around this way till I got to the butt, and then it got difficult. So I cut it there, and I found the best thing to do at this point is to run a piece of tape from the chest down underneath the belly and stick it back to the bottom, and then at that point you can just start piecing together, sticking tape from this part and then underneath to this, and you can really get all of these contour lines better. And then around the legs, see, when you wrap it the first time, you get these little sticky up things. But since it's sticky side up, it's so easy just to wrap another piece of tape around that now. Again, still sticky side up, and it'll hold all those little edges down. And then when I'm done, I'll have a nice contoured horse, and then I'll be ready to paper mache, and I'll do a couple coats of that until it's nice and hard, and then I'll have to get my X-Acto knife and just cut an edge around the top. And I may have to cut the feet off individually too, but that's okay, because once I do that, then it's easy to stick it back together with more paper mache. And sometimes when I'm using a big project like this, I'll cheat and put a little bit of wood glue on there to kind of hold it together first, then paper mache over it a couple of times to give it a nice strong structure. And I'll do that several times, and when I'm all done, I'll have a whole fleet of these horses, and then I can paint them up and build my carousel or whatever I choose to do. But I thought I'd show you this first part, and then later on I'll show you how it works when it's all said and done. And here she is, all paper mache, or at least the first half. I just gotta do, gosh, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 more layers, and then she'll be ready for me to cut her off and start over, or well, put her back together. But thanks for watching, and you can expect a follow-up video probably in, oh, quite a few weeks on this one. But thanks for watching.